place where you're born is probably one of the biggest factors how you develop into a person. And that's why I'm thankful I was born in the Balkans. And although it might not seem like it, Balkan cities are 1000% better than Western ones. To give an example, this is how the average Bulgarian city looks like. Beautiful Baroque and Gothic style buildings in combination with modern architecture and random ass fountains. Or at least that's how cities would look like, if not for this guy. Comic blocks, the best and worst thing that has ever happened to Eastern Europe. The pros are that they're easy to build, house a lot of people, and are dirt cheap, while the cons are that they're old, breaking down, and absolutely fucking ugly. I don't care how much paint they put to them, how much animals they draw, comic blocks will forever look terrible. From the inside there are two options. Either one, it looks fine in a normal block, or two, how could a person live here? Legit, some of you motherfuckers believing in a place straight out of Half-Life 2. I've been going up the stairs scared that some mutant ass pitbull is gonna bite my ass. I don't know how many of you have been in an old school Balkan elevator, but these places are straight up nightmare fuel. This one time I was going to my friend's apartment, and I get into the elevator, and I try to stand still, but I can't, because it's shaking. And I asked my friend if everything is fine with the elevator, and he tells me, yeah, it just does that. What do you mean it just does that? I thought there was an earthquake going on. And after we got out, he showed me a video of his neighbor peeing in that same elevator. If I had to summarize the structure of every single city in the Balkans, it would be one long ass street, aka the center, and at the end of those streets there will be a club. And everything else is what Westerners would call the block, but we just call them neighborhoods. Depending on where you live, the neighborhood experience ranges from total urban hell to a chill rural village. I would like to give more credits to the hoods, but realistically there's literally nothing to do except of chill in the park or sell dope. The most notable views are middle-aged men at the liquor shop and groups of teenagers in black hoodies. They won't jump you, this isn't England after all, but don't try your luck. The single most important part of every neighborhood are these benches. I've never been invited to any of these dinners, but shit looks magical. There's gonna be 5 guys, 5 women, 3 kids, all eating, enjoying themselves, packs of beers everywhere, and somebody somehow brought a whole furnace. They're cooking meatballs, steak, potatoes, but although there's smoke everywhere, it still smells of rakia. Where did the rakia come from? Then there's the second tier benches. They're usually wooden, dirty, and definitely a safety hazard because no one has repaired them since the bombings of the Yugoslav war. And their sole purpose is for drinking and picking sunflower seeds. Speaking of sunflower seeds, there's the unofficial best Balkan snack. I can prove this by going to my local park and seeing that every single bench has sunflower seeds on them. Parks here can be either hit or miss, because the place could be a literal fallout wasteland with a playground swapped in the middle of it, or a really nicely kept up green space with benches for the mothers and playgrounds for the kids, and also trasher sunflower seeds on the ground. But it's the Balkans, you can't really escape those two. And it's all fun and games until it's 12 AM and the street lights don't work. That's when shit gets real. You ever chilled late at night with your friend and saw a random ass guy and thought to yourself, damn, we could definitely jump this guy and nobody would notice. When you eventually get bored of your hood, you have two options. To go to the previously mentioned main street, or if you're lucky enough to be in a big city, you can go to the mall. So malls have a pretty simple hierarchy. On the first floor there's the cafe where there are two types of people. One are the hosts, so you can try out your day game on them.
Sticking at your diap for the Rizzler.
And the second type of people are wannabe entrepreneurs who are pretending they're using the environment to be more productive, but are actually just wasting their money on €8 cafes and like €6 donuts. If you venture further inside, you might spot a mom buying her kids his 23rd Adidas tracksuit. And on the last floor is the entertainment place, so there will be like 15 restaurants and 1 arcade or something. But the most crucial part is the cinema. I don't know how it is in other countries, but in the Balkans, the cinema is probably one of the most overused and useless places in the world. Because you go buy a ticket to watch a movie, the ticket costs like €6-7, and then you go buy some popcorn and coke for like €10. And so you're already like €20 down. You go inside and you watch advertisements for 30 minutes. You watch your dumbass movie and then you leave. And some of your friend says, man, you know we could have watched this for free at my home. But sometimes you do see a level 10 GET at the mall, so I guess it's fine. But speaking of roads, they're straight up dangerous. To give an example, when I was in Finland for a school trip, our group was nearing a crosswalk and the car just stopped. I don't think Westerners understand Balkan roads. But here, cars don't really stop. You just cross the street and you hope you don't get run over. And that's only if you're in a civilized big city. If you're in some kind of a small town or a village, everything is on. No rules, brother. My sister was just learning to drive and she was driving on some random ass small road. And there was a very clear sign that the speed limit was 70 km per hour. So my mom told my sister to stop being a pussy and drive it at least 110 km/h. No wonder 500 people die in car accidents every year in Bulgaria alone. The streets are brutal, man. But sometimes you do have nice interactions with strangers. The holy grail of all interactions are old men who wish to tell you their story. Sit down and listen to them, I can't stress this enough. I had some of my greatest memories when a random 7-year-old sat us down and told us about his service in the naval army, how he stole a horse, how after communism fell he joined the army and then moved to Chicago and then came back to Bulgaria and got jumped by gypsies. Shout out to Ivan, he knows who he is. I mean, most of the stories he told us are probably made up, but they were so good. Every city has beggars, but ours are real chill. They come up to you, ask for money for the bus, total bullshit, they just want to buy alcohol. But since I saw one of those memes about a homeless guy helping you in fights, I always give him money. You never know when they're gonna come in clutch. Next to them are usually homeless people, but in comparison to failed societies like LA or Berlin, we don't really have a big population of them. Like, you know, Martin lives in the underground tunnels, but when the lights come out, he's just a good guy and a decent rapper. The biggest difference between the Western homeless and the Balkan homeless is that in the West you have crazy trans jokey alcoholic homeless, and ours are just alcoholics. When it comes to safety, considering that the Balkans is the black hole for all economic development, our cities are relatively safe. I can't understand how Paris is one of the most dangerous cities in Europe, and also the average person in Paris makes 55,000 euros a year. Like, bruv, if I had that much money, I would be in the casino doubling that shit.